So gender switching a role isn't exactly something new, although if you hear some people say it totally ruins things, I'm going to now list the 7 times that it not only didn't, but it might have made things better. And welcome back to the heart of the stories we tell, where today we're going to do another Sensational 7. Why a 7 countdown? Because I have a little more energy than those that do top 5 countdowns, and a little less than those that do top 10s. Either way, I just like the number 7. So, without further ado, today we are going to talk about the top 7 gender-swapped characters. Now, to be fair, I don't like all of them. In fact, one of the worst examples was Power Boy. You know what? I'll let you Google it, because you wouldn't believe me. Let's get started with the best examples. And we're going to start off very simply with number 7, the classic, the Maiden of Might, Supergirl. She's been her own character long enough that sometimes people forget she really just is Superman if he was a girl. However, she's grown into her own character and is probably the best example of one that's here to stay. Number 6 has a lot of potential, although to be honest, I'm not too sad that it went away, although I'm very sad that why it did. Renee Montoya taking over for the Question in DC Comic. She had her own storyline, she was a powerful, strong female, and she could have done very well as the Question. Except the New 52 rewrote everything and made him magical. Ugh, I don't like magical Question. But why let the girls have all the fun? Because number 5 is Catman, and I'll be honest, before Gail Simone recreated him, I barely knew the character. However, he's a gender-flopped Catwoman, and who's come into his own because Gail created what might be one of the best anti-hero characters in years. Number 4 is complicated, to say the least. SpiderWoman. No, not that SpiderWoman, the other SpiderWoman. Not Jessica Drew, Julie Carpenter. Julie Carpenter had psychic webbing, the ability to stick to walls, and really had almost no connection whatsoever to Peter. However, she was a member of the Avengers, specifically the Avengers West Coast and then Force Work. Modern day, she's been reimagined as the new Madam Web, specifically because of those psychic abilities. Like Supergirl and Catman, she's definitely made her own name for herself and has outgrown the shadow of being just a gender swap. Number 3 is the most recent of these, and by far one of the best. Megan McGann, Miss Martian. Not even just a gendered swap Martian Manhunter, because there's a surprise with her. In fact, there's quite a few. She was introduced with Young Justice and then brought into the comics, and I have to say, I can hardly wait to see her show up in Supergirl this year. This week deciding number 1 and number 2 was super hard because they're 2 of my favorite characters. But number 2 comes in with X-23, the new Wolverine. I loved her when she was originally introduced in X-Men Evolution. However, I have to admit, when she first came into the comics, I wasn't too fond of her. It wasn't until All New X-Men, and then later on, when she became the All New Wolverine, that I really fell for her again. Her current relationship with Archangel, her current relationship with her partial clone, and her current relationship with Old Man Logan all stick out in my mind as very unique, but she still brings everything to the table that you love about Wolverine. She's what I'm looking forward to most out of the last Wolverine movie Hugh Jackman does, the rumor that she'll appear. Moving into honorable mentions, I figure I've named so many comic book characters at this point that I've had your head spinning, so I just want to talk about President Bill Clinton. They're trying to restart that, except now it's a girl Clinton. I don't know what they're doing. Then there was the time they turned Guy Gardner Warrior into a girl. Man, they'd do anything with a gender swap, won't they? Alright, jokes aside, the number 1 gender-swapped character is one that I think held the longest and is one of the best. Isna Nelson, Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate is one of those characters that's been handed around a lot, and to be honest, there's a lot of legacy to go through if you wanted to go through all of it. But the original Dr. Fate was Kent Nelson, and his love interest was Isna Nelson, and obviously later wife. When he fell at one point, she took over the role. There was also a point in time when they were merging together to become Dr. Fate, but the important part is that she held the title for, damn near 5-6 years, and during that time, she was still one of the most powerful characters in DC. They never depowered her. She was never just a stand-in Dr. Fate. She was Dr. Fate. So let's roll through our recap of the 7 best times they gender-swapped a character, starting with Supergirl. That might have been the first time they gender-swapped a character. Then going to Renee Montoya taking over for the Question, and then going for Blake Thompson becoming Catman instead of Catwoman. Number 4 is one specific Spider-Woman, the one that had nothing to do with Peter and had psychic webbing, and is now known as Madam Web. And number 3 is Miss Martian, not really a direct translation of John Jones, and someone who's coming to Supergirl soon. Number 2 is X-23, the best there is at what she does. And number 1 is Dr. Fate. As we walk through the heart of the stories we tell, we're going to look at the same characters over and over again, because there's not that much originality. There are only so many character archetypes. So when I see someone just recreating someone as a different gender, I don't jump to the money grab thought that a lot of you do. What I do is I sit there and I say, hey, is this a unique new way to explore an old idea? And sometimes it's a better way, like the ones on this list. So for now, I need you to like, subscribe, and share this video so that we can grow this community, and then join me back here next time as we take a walk through the heart of the stories we tell. Thanks for watching.